spend most of high school trying to get into college. We don't spend high school deciding what it is that we're passionate about or what it is we could do to be of service to humanity. So you're right. You know, you end up in college, you take a bunch of courses, and you're mainly taking courses on what's interesting or fun. Whereas after doing a year of service or spending a year outside of school, you can really get a sense of what the world needs, what people are doing in the world. You're not in the high school bubble, you're not in the college bubble, you're in the real world. So you can see how it is that you can be of service. And I think on the topic of accumulating wealth, not to discount the institutional prejudices that are there, but I have seen, and I really believe that any individual who is passionate about the work that they do, willing to work hard, and be disciplined will be successful. And if you look at the accumulation of wealth, it's actually very simple, because the accumulation of wealth is just a surplus. It's making sure that what you earn is always more than what you spend. And if you want to be an artist that is serving humanity, then you will have a greater challenge because you have to make sure that you limit what you spend. If you go into a law degree and then become a lawyer and you're making over $100,000 a year, you have less limits on what you spend because money is getting thrown at you. And let's face it, that's the way the system's set up right now. So I think that, you know, the folks watching this blog who are beginning to think about careers need to be aware of that. But that being said, anyone in any field can be extremely successful as long as they're dedicated to that field and they're aware of the amount of money they could potentially make, and then make plans to ensure that they can limit the amount that they spend. Just make sure that what you're making is always more than what you're spending.
So there's two approaches to accumulating wealth that I've heard you talk about, and one is the leveraging and one is like the self-reliant. Are there any like nuts and bolts kind of concrete examples that you have to offer regarding what those two things look like?
Let's say, you know, you graduate from college and you're getting ready to get a job. Well, first of all, there's one choice that you can make, because you can either invest in yourself and your mind and your ability to be a really, really good worker and a really, really good team player. So to be the best team member you can possibly be so that people want you on their team, which means they want to hire you. So that's definitely, you know, a great path to go. Then there's another path, which is where you invest in a service that you can provide to someone else. So you become more of an entrepreneur. You know, you don't necessarily say, okay, I want to go work for this bank or this nonprofit, but you say, you know, the world really needs this, and I can provide that. And you start selling that service, making videos. And therefore, people start paying you to make videos for them. And all of a sudden, you become an entrepreneur and you make money by selling that service. The third thing is you identify a good or a product that the world needs. So, you know, the world really needs a 3D camera that can go underwater without a case. And you figure out how to invent it. Or something a lot simpler, you know, a new soap that's made with locally sourced produce or any, you know, any food that's locally sourced. And you say, in my area, none of the local farms are selling their products to the food companies. I want to be that person. And you become that person and you start selling that product. So you invest in your product, you invest in that business. So again, to recap, you can either invest in yourself and your mind and being a team player. You can invest in your ability to deliver a service, or you can invest in your ability to deliver a product.
to be sensed by the ear.